Welcome back to VidZet. I'm Dr. Ted Noel. Today I had planned on doing one item as a quick prep for the debates. That was going to be dealing with Hillary's eye movement. But in fact, what's actually happened now is we have issues with her eye movement. We have issues with her ear, that is her earpiece, and we'll see in a minute her speech. And then we have this story of the flashlight. Or was it a diazepam injector that's been floating around the internet for a while? It turns out that we have some very, very important information on that as well. So sit back and enjoy. Shortly before the Democratic National Convention, Hillary Clinton had a joint event with her running mate Tim Kaine. While she was speaking, something odd happened in her eyes. Her right eye would turn to the right, and then her left eye didn't follow it. It went too far to the right, which gave her a very strange look. The same thing happened on September 19 at Temple University. In this case, we see the abnormality happening several times in a very short span of time. This is not a photoshopped video. This is the real live video from the event. The position of her eyes in this frame is called disconjugate gaze. Now, when it happens dynamically, as we've seen, that's called loss of vergence, and that is a common problem in Parkinson's disease. The drawing you see is a drawing of a normal human left eye. The muscle we see on our right as we look at the picture is known as the lateral rectus muscle, and it is controlled by the sixth cranial nerve. That nerve travels directly from the brain to the muscle, and that's the only eye muscle it controls. Because Hillary is having problems only with left-right gaze, it's almost certain that this muscle is not functioning quite the way it ought to. But we know that it's not a problem with the muscle because much of the time she's able to get her eyes lined up properly, even when she's looking to the left. We know that it's not the nerve because of the same fact. Now, that leaves us with one choice, the control mechanism. And that says, without any question whatever, there's a problem in the control mechanism for her eyes in the brain, and that points us to a disease such as Parkinson's disease. There is no medical explanation outside of the brain for this. This means that Hillary Clinton has been hiding a neurologic problem. Now, is this a result of her post-concussion syndrome, for which she wore those funky glasses years ago? Or is it something else like Parkinson's disease? Or is it both? We can't be sure. But until she actually lets us see her medical records and her neurologic evaluation, we have nothing to go on but I'm healthy. This means that at the debate Monday night, we should be watching her eyes very carefully. She's not going to be able to avoid moving her eyes around. It's the way it works. And we should be able to see that she's got something very bad going on. And I would bet that it makes the commentary section after the debate. A number of people noticed that Hillary Clinton appeared to be wearing an earpiece in her left ear at the Commander-in-Chief Forum. There were all sorts of speculations about whether this was a way to cheat by having someone radio in answers for her. But I think that there's a different answer that probably speaks to what we've been talking about all the way. This appears to be a speech easy in the ear earpiece known as a model CIC-V. It's common for Parkinson's sufferers to speak softly, so devices like the CIC-V are designed to take advantage of a reflex called the Lombard effect. In essence, if you're in a noisy environment, you speak more loudly so you can be heard. In a quiet environment, the Speech Easy device will actually play a louder background noise into the ear to trick your brain into speaking more loudly. One must ask if this is the earpiece that Huma Abedin was asking about when she was asking in an email whether Hillary had her earpiece. Next, let's move to that thing in the hand of the Secret Service guy near Hillary Clinton. There have been lots of conspiracy theories out there that this is a diazepam pen to deal with seizures or something of the sort. However, when other pictures and videos have come out, it's become clear that this is either a flashlight or a laser pointer. And it's most interesting that this is actually something that a Parkinson's patient would have a use for. We now know that Parkinson's patients have difficulty moving forward at times, and if you give them a target to walk to with a laser pointer, they'll be able to walk more smoothly and walk more easily. There are now even canes that are manufactured with built-in laser pointers to make it easy for a Parkinson's patient to do it for himself.
Tips, and plus a bonus, we always add a bonus, to help someone with Parkinson's when they have those freezing episodes.
Right, so that one foot sticking to the floor.
Yeah, it's like they're, exactly right, like their feet are stuck to the floor, they can't move them.
Foot will just be, it's like it's glued to the floor.
Yep.
And then you got to break that. Once you break it loose, then things go.
They get rolling again. There's the dot. That works out really nice because the idea is you can actually tell them to step on it, Brad, so you can keep it stationary. Try to step on that pointer. So these are some of the hints you can try.
Let's wrap this up. We've seen three things today. The first is an issue with eye motion. This indicates something in the brain. I'll come back to that in a moment. The second is this earpiece, and it's quite possible that that is an earpiece designed to make up for a Parkinson's disease sufferer speaking softly. Well, if it's badly adjusted, as it may have been when she was speaking to the union people, we end up with...
Now, having said all this, why aren't I 50 points ahead, you might ask?
The third item is the pointer in the Secret Service aide's hand. It appears that that is quite possibly a pointer designed to help her if she freezes while walking, and it would unstick her feet from the floor, allowing her to continue to move forward. Now, we don't have proof of this, but since it's already been pointed out that this is probably a flashlight or a pointer, it does make sense. So let's wrap this up. We have two items of speculation. The first one is the laser pointer that would help with freezes. The second is the earpiece, which would help getting her vocal volume up high enough and which she could hide under her hairdo. The third item is something she can't hide, and that's her abnormal eye motions. Now, when her eyes go into that disconjugate gaze, that is unmistakable sign of something going on in the brain. Now, I've called it Parkinson's. It could actually be one of several in that long list. One person wrote in and said, no, I think it's probably supranuclear palsy. Another one talked about post-concussion syndrome. It really doesn't matter. There are about 12 things in that list. Most of them are related, and they would tend to all create bad problems. Ultimately, what they do is they say, this brain in her head isn't working properly, and all of them have a very downhill prognosis. That is, whatever's going on there is likely to get worse and get worse and get worse. And we already know that it causes motion problems, and all of them are also associated with difficulties in thinking. Can we afford a president who can't think? I don't believe so. This is Dr. Ted Noel. Thanks for watching.